Dear students, it is the second video for the week 7 and we are now going to cover Locke's theory of consent. In the previous video we simply reviewed the biography of John Locke, and now we aim to dig into the philosophical thoughts of John Locke. Primarily, John Locke in the theory of consent gives importance to the consent himself. Clear? He believes that the mutual and willing consent of the people about a system of government is the very secret of a well-balanced progressive state. Clear? Locke says that an individual by his own consent starts living in a society, and no individual can be held as a citizen against his will. Although these both concepts are quite abstract, whereas in the reality things may be different. For example, you and me, born in Pakistan, and by birth it is inculcated in our mind that we are the citizen of Pakistan and this is our country and we have to live according to the law and constitution. And luckily today is for August the 14th, and here every child, every person reminds us about the liberty from English people and from the Hindu majority. These two things are there, that in today's life even nobody is by birth loves to be a citizen of the state he borns. Actually he is compelled. If I agree with this concept of John Locke in the practical life, that in the present situation no person would like to live maybe in their homelands where they're born, in face of inequality, tension, lack of opportunities to progress. Thereby most and everybody would love to move to the progressive countries. So to some extent you can say that the philosophers do speak in ideal situation, whereas the situation on the ground may be different. The topic now, these objections that I've just means catered, they can be called as a critical questions to analyze the theory, how much practicable it is or not. Just first I have the review. John Locke divides the theory of consent into two major categories. Okay, express consent and second is tacit consent. Express consent mean वाज़ेह रज़ामंदी and tacit consent mean passive consent or खामोश रज़ामंदी. Locke believes that an individual who expresses openly and agrees with the constitution, traditions and norms of a society or a country, his contract relationship with the country is stronger, and the person who owns a property in a country and starts living, he is also has a contract with the state, whether he participate in elections or not, whether he casts the vote or not. According to John Locke, he want to say it. I mean, some of the people, for example, election happens in Pakistan. Some people and the voters and the supporters both show their enthusiasm, and there are different levels of concept. For example, a person supporting PTI, a person supporting PPP, and a person supporting PMLN. One person goes door to door. If he is ready, then he is going to door. Okay. Then, apart from these voter and supporters, there are some people who may not in favor of elections even, who dislike this system of democracy, even though they are part of this contract because they own a property in the state. Clear? He believes this, that every new generation, in reward to better future and protection, shows the consent for the state. Whereas the state cannot deprive any person from his innate property. And the government of the will means the government of the constitution. Locke believes that once you have shown your commitment for a government and accepted the sovereign as a leader, then you cannot revoke it. He believes this, that consent is the backbone of establishing a state, and that is the best constitution which is approved by the consent of the people. And for the management and the state, it is mandatory to observe the ethical principles. And this is the question point notable, that once a person being a representative of a political party, and later on he owns a high office, for example, he becomes prime minister, he becomes a chief minister, he becomes a national minister, whatsoever he becomes, once it is his responsibility now to follow the legal, to follow the ethics, because the political system means to protect people, their lives, to bring betterment in them, and to follow the constitution, and to make other people follow the constitution. Locke believes that a democratic system is the best system because here the public representatives do participate in the system of government, and they perform and they run the system of the government. Locke's theory of social theory give extraordinary importance to the people for whom a government is established, and he believes that the people are the decisive force in a political system, so their will must be respected. And it is the will of people representative in form of the parliament. And here you must remember this concept. Your PPP's House of PPP's very senior minister Khurshid Shah, Parliament. Why he says that the sanctity of Parliament? This is the concept he is going to emphasize, that Parliament is the most sacred institution, that is the true representative of the will of people, thereby that must be respected, and the decision of Parliament are all binding to all the institutions of the state. Thank you very much.